Hi, Savita. Hi, Shailaja.
Hi.
Hi.
So, any questions, Andy? Any questions even for the previous sessions?
నాకు హ్యాష్ మ్యాప్ అండ్ హ్యాష్ సెట్ మీదే ఉన్నాయండి ఇంకా కానీ అంటే అది ఆ టాపిక్ కొంచెం క్లియర్ గా లేదేమో అనిపించింది.
ఓకే ఓకే యా షూర్ అది మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి అంటే ఆటోమేషన్ రన్ ఈ స్క్రిప్ట్స్ స్క్రిప్టింగ్ చేసేటప్పుడు వస్తుంది. సో మేబీ విల్ డిస్కస్ దేర్.
యా షూర్
షూర్ యా ఐ నోట్ డౌన్ దట్. యా ఓకే. Just wait a minute more and we'll start.
ఒక డౌట్ అండి రిలేటెడ్ అంటే సబ్జెక్ట్ కాదు. నార్మల్ గా జావా ఎంత డెప్త్ గా తెలియాలండి ఈ ఆటోమేషన్ కి?
అవసరం లేదు. అదే మనకి ఏంటంటే కోర్ జావా ఓన్లీ ద బేసిక్స్. ఓకే, సో వీ డోంట్ నీడ్ టు నో ఆటోమేషన్ కి ఓన్లీ బేసిక్స్ కావాలన్నమాట జావాలో. సో మనకి డెప్త్ అవసరం లేదు. కోర్ జావా అంటారు, అది ఆ కోర్ జావా కాన్సెప్ట్స్ మాత్రమే తెలియాలి అంతే. సో దాంట్లో ఏంటంటే కలెక్షన్స్ అని, లిస్ట్, హ్యాష్ మ్యాప్, ఈ రెండే మెయిన్ యూజ్ చేసేది. ఈ రెండు. ఇంకా స్ట్రింగ్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, ఇంటీజర్స్ ఏంటి, డబుల్ వాల్యూస్, డబుల్ అంటే ఏంటిది, సో ఇలాంటివి. అండ్ క్లాస్, ఆబ్జెక్ట్, ఐ మీన్ సో ఓన్లీ బేసిక్ థింగ్స్ ఆఫ్ కోర్ జావా. ఐ మీన్ మరి డీప్ ఏం అవసరం లేదు, ఓన్లీ ఆటోమేషన్ వరకు. మెథడ్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, బేసిక్ ఊప్స్ బేసిక్స్ ఎనీవే. ఊప్స్ అది థియరిటికల్ గా చెప్తారు, కానీ అది నేను కొంచెం మీ క్లాస్ లో అంటే అది ఫస్ట్ చెప్తారు. బట్ బేసిక్ ఏంటంటే ఫస్ట్ చెప్తే థియరీగా ఉంటుంది, కనెక్ట్ అవ్వలేరు తర్వాత మళ్ళీ. సో అందుకని నేను ఏంటంటే ఊప్స్ కొంచెం మీరు ఫెమిలియర్ అయిన తర్వాత ఊప్స్ చెప్తే అప్పుడు మీరు కనెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటారు అన్నమాట. యూ కెన్ లింక్ దట్. ఊప్స్ అనేది జస్ట్ 4 ఉంటాయి: ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్ అని, అబ్స్ట్రాక్షన్ అని, ఇంటర్ఫేస్ అని, ఎన్క్యాప్సులేషన్ అని. బట్ I'll tell that in between so that you will correlate it. If I tell in the very beginning, right, so you don't understand. You just like it will be like as same as some statements. But you, because most of the interviews they'll ask the use of how you used in your framework, in your project, how you use your oops concepts in the project. That's the question they'll ask. So that I'll tell you oops. So apart from that, method ante enti, class ante enti. So I mean ఈ ప్రైవేట్, పబ్లిక్, ఈ యాక్సెస్ మోడిఫైర్స్ ఏంటి, ఎక్సెప్షన్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ ఏంటి, ఎక్సెప్షన్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ కూడా ఒకటి ఉంది చెప్పు, ఎక్సెప్షన్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్. సో ఈ కలెక్షన్స్ అంటే యూటిల్ ప్యాకేజ్ అంటారు. దాంట్లో ఉండేది మెయిన్ లిస్ట్, హ్యాష్ మ్యాప్. లిస్ట్, సెట్, హ్యాష్ మ్యాప్, హ్యాష్ సెట్. సో ఇవి ఏంటి. సో అంతకుమించి పెద్ద అవసరం ఏమి ఉండదు కోర్ జావాలో. ఆటోమేషన్ రిలేటెడ్ టు ఆటోమేషన్ there is a lot, but related to automation we don't need to know very deep into Java. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So as we see, this is the I mean the last class which we have discussed is like how do we just open the browser and just find that some elements. Okay, so then we have written this in public static void main, which is normal Java class. We have declared as a main class, main method, and we have just created we're just writing, just following like this is the code which is to open the browser and open the URL. Then we're just following based on our requirement. I mean, we're just trying to find each element and doing some action and going on. But in real time we will not have a main class at all in the framework side. Okay, we always, I mean, if you just run this, it will run it, but it will not say how many test cases you have written, how many are passed, how many are failed. So in that way, okay, so basically we have something called TestNG. There is a concept called TestNG, test next generation, they'll say. Okay, so what is the use of the TestNG? It's because it will divide your test cases. I mean, basically you will be writing one test method for each test case, So that if you run it, it will show you how many test cases you have written, how many are passed, how many are failed, how much time it has taken to execute. So all these things will give, and there are some annotations they have. TestNG has some annotations, which means that before, I mean, there are something like before suit, before class, before test, some things like, I mean, before starting of your tests, what you have to do, what are the preconditions that you need to do. Okay, so those kind of annotations you'll be knowing it in soon, but basically there is something called TestNG, which is the test next generation, which is used to run your automation scripts. You will be writing your automation scripts, but to run those, you need something, some support, which is like TestNG. Okay, so this is just normal Java project, right? This is just a Maven project which we have created. But how do we convert this as a TestNG? Basically, if I right click on the project, okay, and say TestNG, convert to TestNG. If I do this, then there will be an testng.xml file will be created. I'll just do that, finish. So as you see, testng.xml file is created. Okay. So in this testng.xml file, what you will say, you will just declare your test classes. Okay, let me just this automation test, right? I'll change this to test. Okay, will not be having public static main uh, in real time. You will be having public. Uh, okay, this one create account. This is basically we are creating an account, right? So we'll say create an account. The method is create an account. And here I'll declare this as a test. Okay, when I declare this as a test, and it will say import testng. Okay, I'll import this testng. Then what I'll do, I'll just right click this one and say run as testng test. I mean, it do the same. It will open the browser. It will do the same functionality which you have written, but only thing is you'll see the difference. Like let's just okay. So if I go it here, so it says like results. See, you'll see this test case is passed. There is passed, one test case is passed, and zero failed, zero skipped, because we just have one test. A test, how many tests are there? So those many test cases you will be having. Okay, this is one test case, and if you see the results which you have in the test ng, it will say passed, one unpassed. Okay, and you'll also see it has taken 34 seconds, I think, something like that. But if I go it here and go to the actual project workspace, Selenium automation, so you'll be having target, not target, test output, where you will have This all you don't need to remember anything. It will just create TestNG report. So it is created, one test is passed, 0 skipped, 0 failed, and this much time it has taken. And what is the test? Test is like create an account. Okay. So I mean, it will just give you the report as well. And this also the same, I think, index. Okay. So basically, this is the report you will look. Okay. So when you create a new, I mean, you don't need to see and know much of things here. You just need to convert this as a TestNG. Convert your project as TestNG. Then the testng.xml file will be created. That's it. But when you declare this as uh, this method as a test, so it means that this is one test case. TestNG will identify, okay, this is the test case I just wanted to run, and it will show the result. And it will also, if you go inside your project, there will be a test output file will be created, folder will be created if you go inside. So these all you don't care about these all, how many these all things. It will be by default it will create, but you don't care about, you just care about only emailable report. In this report you will see the actual report. I mean, in terms of report, you can send this report to your I mean your management. Okay, this is these many test cases we have written, these are passed and these are failed, in that way. Okay. So um, in your projects it will be like this. You will not be having public static void main, you will be having a test methods. So those are the test cases. Okay. Clear?
In this case, no need to mention the main method.
No, that's what, you don't need to mention main method. TestNG will take care of that. TestNG will run all the methods which has a test tag.
Okay.
This run debug, it by default it is come. You don't care about that. Just if I remove this, those will also go. Okay. Just there will be, if I don't have a test here, okay, then it will not run. There is 0 pass, 0 fail, 0 skip, because there is TestNG don't know, like I mean there is no methods which has a test. Okay, basically if I put a test, so TestNG will identify this is one test case and it will run that. And if I put, let me just put one more test here, one more a test, I'll say create account one. Okay, I'll just give some other mail ID. I mean, just to show you the difference how it, so it will, if I say TestNG test, so see what it will do. So in your real-time projects, right, you will be having Maven TestNG. Maven is the one which has the pom.xml file where you will have all the jar files, and TestNG is the one which will run your test scripts, and it will show you the report and the results, test results. So wherever you go, you will be having this TestNG classes. This is one test, and another test will run. Another browser will open it again, because we have written two methods, right? So another browser is open and it is running the next test case 2. So how many test cases you'll have? So you'll be writing all in the okay. So now if I go and see test 2 tests, 0 failure, there are 2 tests which has run, and if I see the results, create account 1, these 2 are the test cases it has created. If I see the emailable report, it will show you there are 2 test case passed, and these are the things, these are the test cases, create account and create account 1. Okay. So let me just do a little more. So I'll not do this automation test. I'll just create account test cases. So for example, if I take this one for creating an account, okay. So how many test cases I can write? I can write one test case with 1 second, please. Sorry. So you can create one test case with selecting as Mr. and give all other details. Okay, that can be one test case. And another test case will be select Miss and then create all the details. That can be one test case. And another test case will be without giving the first name, just try to fill other details and click on save. I mean, without giving any details, click on register. Then this is kind of a negative validation. Then it will show these errors. I mean, for the first name, it should show first name is required, last name is required in this way. This is one test case. So all different kind of test cases you will be writing. Okay, those will be writing it here. Okay, create account, Mr. Example. Okay, and create account. Nice. So what you do here, you will select IT gender one because this is Mr. and this one is the Miss, right? So you have to click second one. Getting me?
For
Yeah, I mean,
writing, we have to first save in the, we have to do the manual and then we have to go for automation, or directly we can take the UI page and we can directly do the test.
yeah, we'll not go for manual. I mean, just showing you the different kind of test cases, scenarios. No, I'm just
Okay.
showing you the different scenarios. But basically, you'll be having manual test cases. By following those manual test cases, you will write your scripts.
Okay, that one no need to write ourselves in
Manual test
the
cases.
manual cases.
No, I mean, there are two ways here. So some of the companies will have manual test cases and they might have tested everything. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll say, okay, automate this one because in future, they don't need to again do the manual testing. Application is ready, but future, if there are some enhancements, if you automate those, so it will just run automatically. You don't need to have manual interaction to run all these test cases.
Okay.
One thing. And some organizations will not be having manual test case at all. They'll directly automate it. They'll just try to see how many scenarios they can cover and they'll try directly automate it. They'll not have many manual test cases. By following the application or by following the requirements they have, they'll directly automate it. They'll directly create, I mean, they'll directly define the scenarios. Okay, these many scenarios this page can have, and those scenarios you will write it.
Okay.
Okay, so in my first test case, so basically what is our requirement? Suppose you got a requirement saying that automate the create account page. Okay, so they'll ask you, please automate this create an account page. Okay, this will go for some weeks or months. I mean, at least maybe it will go for some because you have to do many validations right here. So many validations
Mm.
you have to do. Each field you need to make sure that if you give
Positive
positive or negative scenarios.
and
Okay,
negative.
yes.
Mm.
So they'll ask you to create. So what you'll do, you'll just create a class called create account test cases. So you'll identify the scenarios. Maybe you'll do some analysis, right? Initially, before starting of your test cases, you might do some analysis, and you will come up. Okay, I need to to automate this page. Okay, I might need these 20 or 30 scenarios to be covered. The first scenario will be positive flow. Enter all the valid fields and click on save, click on register. Then it should say registered successfully. Then the next scenario will be I'll create the again the positive flow, but with different kind of test data with miss. Okay. And here date of birth, you might give different date of birth and sign up for newsletter by checking this. Next, maybe the next scenario will be you'll do the check boxes and you will create one scenario. Okay, all these scenarios can be written, right? So those all you'll write in a test. This is one scenario will be one a test, and another scenario will be another a test. So like that you'll be having n number of test cases will come. So you'll write everything here, and when you run this test case, so all the when you run this class as a TestNG, so all your test cases will run and it will give you the result for the create account page. Okay, I mean that is the use of basically TestNG. Okay, and there is something called annotations. I said, right? Annotations. Okay, uh, annotations in the sense there are some annotations which TestNG has. For example, before class. Okay, no, let me just write a method. Okay, let me just tell you the concept, then maybe I'll go. See, in this test case, so this test is this step is common, right? Until here, or you're creating an account, right? So until here, until sign in, it is common. Each test case, it is common, right? So these 5 steps are common in each test case, because you have to open a browser, you have to open the URL, you have to maximize, and you have to click sign in. Only when you click sign in, then the email create page will come, right? So these 5 steps are common here and also here. Even in these 5 steps, this in this test case, these 5 steps are common. So why do we need to write these all test case, I mean these 5 steps in each and every test case? So there is an annotation called before test. Okay, so I'll just write public void uh, open application, something like that, and I'll just write these steps here. Okay, so I have removed here those steps, and I'll also remove here these 5 steps. Okay, let's see what will happen. See this opening the browser, maximizing, this is all from the before test. It is from the before test, right? Until click on sign in, it is from the before test method, and this is from your test class. Clicking on Mr. is your from test class. And the another test case will run now. Let's see what happened. It has run or not. Oh, there is one which is failed, but why that is failed? Let's see. Okay. Create an account, gender is clicked. Okay. no such element, which is email create. Oh, sorry, I think it is not before a test, before method. Let's see, it is before method. See, this has executed for first test case, but for the next test case, it has not executed. I mean, it has not opened the browser again. So maybe I think the annotation is wrong here. Before method is the annotation. Okay, first test case is done. It should open another browser. See, now it's open another browser. Okay, so those 5 steps I have written only in before method annotation. So that 5 steps will be executed for each test case. I mean, when there is something which is repeatable, so you don't need to write in each test case. You can just declare one annotation called before method and write those common. See, now it is selected miss for the next test case, right? So as you see, these 5 steps as ran for this create account mister and also for this create account misters, because I have removed. Let me just remove this one so that it will put here. Okay, so I have declared a method called before method. I mean, TestNG has this annotation. TestNG is giving you this annotation when you say something, when you declare a method with before method. So it means that these 5 steps has to be executed before running of each test method. This is one test method, this is one test method, right? So before running this test method, I mean, for this test, this 5 has to run, this 5 steps has to run, and for this test again this 5 has to run. How many number of test methods you have, so these 5 steps will run that many times. Getting me?
Yes, it's clear.
It's clear, right? Okay. Okay, good. So likewise, let's see. I mean, this is basically I just wanted to tell you the concept here so that you'll, I mean, because if I just try to automate everything, then finally if I come and say a test methods, these all, it might get some confusion. So I just wanted to tell that before. Now we'll try to run one positive scenario. We'll try to uh, create one positive scenario for the registration account. I mean, we'll see how to um, automate the some fields basically. Okay, we are here, right? So Mr. I mean, sometimes like what will happen? So okay. Mm, okay. We, until now, I think you are clear. So we'll see how to handle this radio buttons. Okay. So sometimes in your application, by default, okay, this might not be required. Okay, this is the radio button, right? Okay, this is fine. I think you can just use dot click to just find the element of radio button as we do before, and do the dot click. Next, you just have to enter the first name. So what you do, you just have to find the element. So what is the element? Do you have ID? Yeah, we have some ID. Okay, let me just use that driver dot find element by dot id of dot send keys of some first name example. In the same way for the last name, so what is the element for the last name? Customer last name. I'll say I'm just sending first name only. I'm not giving any name, just giving first name and last name. And what else? Email is there. Password we have to provide. So password, there is something called. Is there any ID? Yeah, we have ID called password. So what I'll do, I'll just say, and password is my ID. So I'll give some password. ABCD at 123 example, and date of birth right here. So until here it's clear. It's just text box. You just have to find the element dot send keys, dot send keys, dot send keys to enter the value. Now you have something called date of birth, which you need to select. It is not like sending the values. You need to select the values. Okay. But if you understand the concept of this drop downs, so in your lifetime in the automation, it is the same. So just try to understand this one. Date of birth, right? So what you have to do, you just have to select some value from the drop down. Okay, so you have to right click and say inspect. So there is something called select id equal to days, like this, right? Okay, and there are options 1 2 3 4 like that. So for any okay, to select, we have something called select class. Okay, select, what is that? Let me say date of birth, right? Date of birth equal to, not first one is date, I think date. Okay, first one is date, right? I'll just say date equal to new select of mm, driver dot find element by dot id of, what is the id here? Days, id of days. Now date dot, okay. So this line is important to select any value from the drop down. Okay, this is static. I mean, this line is same. You have to create a class called select and some name. The name is according to, I mean, you can give whatever you want, but this is date and this is month and this is year, right? So I'm selecting date. So that is the reason I just to, I mean, if somebody sees, then they'll understand, okay, this is for date. So that is the reason I have given date. New select of the path of the element. What is the path of the element? Select days, I mean id and name. So I'm just given I selected id. So driver dot find element by id of days, this you know. Okay, all you need to remember is that you have to create a select class. Okay, now you have created a select class. Now you have to select the value, right? So using this reference dot select by visible text. Select by visible text, what does that mean? Visible means మీకు కనిపించేది. ఏం కనిపిస్తుంది ఇక్కడ? మనం ఒకసారి రైట్ క్లిక్ చేసేవాడి 1 2 3 4 11 ఇట్లా కనిపిస్తున్నాయి కదా. సెలెక్ట్ బై విజిబుల్ టెక్స్ట్. సో విజిబుల్ టెక్స్ట్ మేబీ డేట్ 10th అనుకోండి. సో ఇట్ విల్ సెలెక్ట్ 10, one method. Okay, so here I have used select by visible text. Now again I have to use this, I have to select the month. For month I have something called id months. Okay, so again I'll create a select class. I'll put this date as months, and I have ID months. Okay. Now I have to select months dot select by. I'll use different method here. Select by index. Okay. Index in the sense this is 0 index. This is first index, second index, third index, fourth index. So suppose I my date of birth is in August. Okay. So which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Index 8. It will select. I'll tell you more detail once everything is done. Then I'll just use again year drop down. I'll create here year and ID is years, and I'll use another method here year called select by value. I'll use now value. What is the value here? 2000, maybe date of birth, right? I'll just use 2010 example. Okay. Okay. So to
Years dot, I think. Years.
no, I just gave here. I mean,
Mm.
this is the name
You
I have.
have.
This is the reference, right? So I have given
Ah,
here. Yeah, yeah.
okay, okay,
I
got
mean,
you.
if I give years here, then it has to
Hmm.
be. It is just our own name. We can give anything. We can give S1 also. If we give S1, then we have to give S1.
Okay. For
This,
understanding, year is very clear.
yeah, right. That's why. But only thing is, this has to be the one from this, from the path, from the from this HTML. But remaining all, you can give whatever you want. Okay. So basically, to select a value from the drop down, you have three methods. Either you can use select by visible text, either you can use select by index, or either you can use select by value. I have used three different just to show you the difference. I can also use the same method here, select by visible text. I can write January.